welcome to another episode of Here's How I Blackboard. This time we're going to be on the map Polyphemus. I think that's how I pronounce it. Bring Quincy yet again, just because Quincy's early game is unrivaled. I guess it could be rivaled by Sada, but Sada on this map is kind of sketch, so I'm not really sure if I kind of want to rely on her. Anyways, let's kind of see if Quincy can actually solo round 6 and 7. Hopefully he can. I think I'll put Quincy, I think right here. I could like kind of tuck him in right here, but I do want Alchemist later on when I get that buffing Quincy and Sky Shredder as well, so putting it Quincy a bit over here might be a little bit better for later on. Okay, so he soloed the green balloons, that's good. Now can he solo the blues and reds? No, he leaks a red, but he's pretty close. Anyways, I guess we'll just go for triple dart, and I think that's fine. This should work. Easy. Hopefully triple darts can save for Quincy. Once we get Quincy, I think I'll transition into Druid. Druid of the Jungle is pretty good, especially for early game shenanigans. Then once we get that, we can start working on the main strategy I want to showcase, which is Sky Shredder. Did want to try some tower buffs on this update, but it's kind of an awkward map to really kind of do it on, just because, you know, this huge eye here does take up, you know, really prime real estate for some towers that I would think would be interesting. Now, when I look at this map, this is definitely a watered center map. I feel like there's more water, there's not more water than land, but the water here is definitely in a really good prime real estate spot. You know, I feel like, you know, if this wasn't here, Tax Zone might be decent in this bend here, although Pierce would probably be a bit of an issue. But I think, you know, for water-based strategies, I think the ideal play here would be not to go for like relying on sub for early games, because you'd be spending a lot of money having to constantly reopen this eye every time it closes. And, you know, that's of course valuable money that you could be investing into upgrades and towers and whatnot. So I think in the ideal scenario, you wouldn't actually want to use this for early game. I think late game, when you have more cash to like kind of float and spare, I think it's fine. But, you know, for me personally, relying on this for early game is kind of sketch. I definitely do think, you know, water-based towers will do really well, because if you didn't know, the eye does give some pretty decent buffs. I think it gives attack speed, camo detection, and discount. I think that's the 3 buffs it gives. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what the 3 buffs it gives. So this definitely is really good for like wash strategies, like, you know, Sub Commander or Pirate Lord is what I personally would do. But we've kind of seen Sub Commander and Pirate Lord a lot, so I figure might as well do something like a bit different. This round might require Quincy's ability, as pink balloons are kind of annoying. And I'll use it now. Perfect. Don't know if it was necessary, but Quincy does struggle against, you know, faster balloons like pinks and yellows. So I just kind of wanted to be sure there. Please don't leak that. Okay, that's probably a bad idea to do, but I think it's fine. If I end up short by like $215 somewhere, well, yes, I know where it came from. But we're so close to Druid of the Jungle that I just didn't really want to restart. We can probably get this by round 20, which I think is perfect. I'll use Quincy ability to finish off the clumps of greens. Alright, perfect. Now that we got that, we should be smooth sailing. Although maybe not, because the bramble attack from the Druid may not be too helpful here, since, you know, it's kind of 2 separate lanes merging into one, and they don't merge until like this very point right here. The bramble attack won't really be too helpful, but regardless, I still think it's kind of fine. And then Berserker Brew now, and then we should be smooth sailing for the rest of the early game. Now we just kind of work on getting our main defense up. I guess not really main defense up, because I do still need something for kind of mid game, as ODS is alright for mob damage, but for balloon rounds it's not really too useful. I am thinking maybe Elite Sniper. The only problem is I would want Elite Sniper under Alch buff to be optimal, but again, I don't really want to spend money on a second Alch buff. I mean, I guess tier 4 could buff Quincy, Sniper, and Ace, but once we get to like rounds 81 plus, I don't really want Alchemist buffing Sniper anymore, so that would just turn into like a bit of a problem. It'd be stealing buffs when it wouldn't be doing too much damage, but I think it's probably fine. Now I think about it, I guess it's fine. I'll just say screw it and just go for that then. I mean, I could try to put it away or just not buff it, but I think that's kind of not really smart. But I guess at least sniper it is, as that's a pretty good option. It's cheap, does decent damage. I probably should have gotten tier 4 Alchemist before I've gotten sniper down, but it's fine. This round's kind of worrying me just a little bit, so I'll use that ability. That felt really close, probably because it was. 36 might be a bit of a struggle. The pink wave can be pretty oppressive. Let's see here. As you can see, this is like pretty expensive. You know, 1500. Imagine spending that for early game. That's a lot of money that's just kind of down the drain. I'm gonna see if I can get tier 4 before the Moab comes in, just so that way both Quincy and Sniper can be buffed. We should be fine for the Moab, as Quincy does do pretty good Moab damage. All right, tier 4 acquired. Let's get you in faster firing. Then we just use the ability for the Moab and we should be smooth sailing. I think I'll go for supply drop and then I'll go for my Operation Darkstorm. Then after that, I think we probably could chill up until Elite Sniper. And then chill up until Sky Shredder, hopefully. Alternatively, I guess I could have tried out Jungle's Bounty for mid game, but I'm not really too sure about that one. Because like relying on Quincy solely for Moab damage, it does kind of worry me, especially once we get to like mid 50s. That's just kind of not really ideal. I mean, I guess ODS would be helping out, but for rounds like 63, I don't know if Jungle's Bounty on this map can actually solo 63. Ceramics aren't really too ideal, so 49 might be a problem here. There's a lot of ceramics, and we're kind of relying on Druid to beat most ceramics at this point. Quincy isn't really too great against ceramics right now. Camo cerams are also a bit of a problem. I'll just use that ability. I think it's fine. Then I guess I can go for village, because if camos are going to be annoying, I guess that can help. ODS can help out against ceramics just a little bit. If it flies over the map, it will do some decent damage. And I will need to get this eventually, just because Sky Shredder can't see camo natively. Even though it looks like a spy plane, which so you think it like would, but you know, I guess for balance purposes and to like incentivize cross pathing, it doesn't see camo. All right, at least Sniper quiet on round 60, kind of perfect timing here. Not like we would struggle against this BFB anyways without it, but just in time for round 63, which is perfect. I think I'll put this guy on first. I'm not really sure if like elite targeting would be better, just kind of like overall, versus like putting Sniper on first or like strong or something like that. Elite targeting just kind of feels a bit too niche. I'm not really sure. I can't think of a scenario where like elite targeting would be better than normal targeting. Or I guess like normal targeting, I mean like, you know, first, strong. You know, those two targetings are used mainly on snipers. Used a lot of times on snipers. And like I can see the appeal, but I don't know. Now, of course, we're not perfectly fine against mobs. Elite Sniper doesn't really do too decent mob damage at this point. Fortified's definitely are going to be an issue, but thankfully ODS and Quincy can clean up. 75 is a bit scary, guys. A lot of fortified mobs as well as BFBs. Even though we are going to stagger the time they pop, there's still just kind of a lot of RBE here. Thankfully, it's fine. Also, we will not be getting... we might afford Sky Shredder before 80, although 80 is in like 3 rounds, but even if we can't, I think we can clean up easily with Quincy, as his level 3 combined with level 10 when the ZOMG pops should be more than enough. This is why I do like Quincy. Even though Churchill is one of my favorite heroes along with Etienne, Quincy is pretty good when it just comes to just general use overall. The only problem with him is just kind of his mid game, as well as the fact he can struggle against like, you know, faster balloons like, you know, pinks and yellows. I mean, that's really only a problem for kind of like, you know, early game stuff. Once you get like, you know, up to like mid and late game, that's not really too much of an issue. Don't got Sky Shredder, but that's fine. Once the ZOMG gets in range, we'll use Quincy's level 3. And then once it pops, we'll use level 10. It didn't pop at level 3. That's kind of concerning. Let me use it now. Perfect. And then Sky Shredder afforded just in time for 81. Even if without, you know, Sky Shredder, I think 81 would have been pretty easy. Now, this should be a free win here, although I guess wouldn't really hurt to kind of invest in some support. So I think the first thing I'll do is go for kind of OC. Overclock Sky Shredder is pretty good. Although it does mean I have to continuously use Sky Shredder's ability whenever. This also does mean that Alchemist doesn't really last as long, but in kind of looking at it, this guy like doesn't even get Alch buff. Now they just kind of realized it. I guess it's mainly used on Quincy and Sniper. Alright, so now we got OC up, and then I think next I'll invest in maybe Mob Glue. Okay, so I can put it right here to get the buffs of Village, which is perfect. Let me actually get Primary Training, just that way this guy can just be a little bit better. And then I think that's really all I really need for the rest of the game now I think about it. Round 100, might need a first strike. I guess we'll play it by ear and see. I think I can honestly just coast up until round 100. Although maybe not, because ceramics might be a bit of a problem, as you can see. Yeah, ceramics are a huge issue. Let me see what I want to do about it. I could go for ice. That is a thing I could do. Let's see. Could go for ice, could go for glue. The only issue is placement. Not really sure where I want to place ice. I mean, I guess I could put it maybe like right here. It would catch straggler. It catch like ceramics kind of early here though. We don't really pop all the mobs, you know, then. Although now I think about it, I don't think Sky Shredder pops lead, but it doesn't pop frozen, right? I think we're dead there. Please, no, I don't really want to restart. No, we are alive, surprisingly. Okay, I will take that. I was very close just pressing restart because like, well, we're dead. But good thing I did not. So not really a free win as I suspected, probably because of the ace pattern. Let me see if I put it on like kind of figure eights, that way it's kind of more centralized. I'll use this now. I'll use OC now. I'll use Snowstorm. And now, Quincy can't hit DT, so I'm not really sure I'm using the ability. We're not actually fine here, surprisingly. I think we're dead to 95. We survived 93 only to die 95. Unfortunate. The unfortunate problem with black bordering. I would think it would be a nice quality of life change if there was some sort of fast track option where you can maybe start with like, you know, round 40, round 50 with like, you know, I guess like the way they implement it, and we can implement it, is if you die in a chimps run, right, you can start on like round 50 or like something else like that, where you get the same amount of cash you'd have gotten if you played normally, but you don't have to sit through kind of early game all over again. As it is a bit annoying, like dying late into a run and having to replay the rounds all over again. Especially, I guess this would eventually like become a problem with you when you get to like extra maps and you're doing your own strategy and you just kind of and you die on like 99 or something. You have to replay all the way through, and there's no guarantee you're going to beat the round you kind of you died on. It would just be like a nice quality of life thing. As I can imagine, it's not really too fun replaying like the same rounds over and over again, especially like, you know, early game. Early game is pretty slow and not really too interesting. But rant's over. Alright, so we're back at 95. Skipped out on OC, instead went for Absolute Zero, as I feel like that's probably a better support option, as well as a Balloon Sabo, and we're working on Mob Glue right now. Hopefully that will be enough to be able to beat this round. Mid was acquired, so that way Quincy can hit DDTs. Just that way Quincy can just help out just a little bit more for this round. Not really good at ace micro, so I'm not even really going to worry about it. I think I'll use Quincy's ability now. And then once Sabo wears off, I think AZ should easily be able to carry me to victory. Perfect. I'm not really sure if I want to go for OC now, as 98 is coming up pretty soon. I feel like 98 might be a bit of a difficult round. I'm skipping out on Relentless just because. Get you on strong and get you more pierce. I could go for yet another Sabo. Who knows? Round 100, not really too worried about, honestly. As even if I don't really need a first strike, Sky Shard does do decent mob damage. At most, I would need a Spike Storm. Alright, let's freeze you now. Oof, Storm is around. We're a bit scary. 97. It won't have enough for Shattering Shells for 98, but I think it should be fine. I might get Center Path, maybe put maybe Sky Shard towards the back. Well, I kind of wish Center Path didn't really default to a circle, because I would like to have it on a Figure Infinite kind of towards the back. How about here? I think here's fine. Alright. I'll use Sabo immediately. Why not? Use... Don't really know when I want to use Absolute Zero. I'll use it, I guess now. It's fine. Let's use Quincy's ability. Let's Sabo. And I think that should be GG. Use that. Okay. So we don't have Sabo or Quincy's ability for 99. That is slightly worrying. I mean, we do have this guy. Actually, we do have Sabo. So let's see if we're good here. I would be honestly surprised. Also, why did it look like that DT got defortified a little bit? I guess maybe when it gets like low HP, the kind of fortified bands go away. And then just to finish it off, Spike Storm. Play no games here. I don't really want to restart, especially not around 100. Let's use that. And that should pop anytime now. Oof. Bit of a delayed reaction, but I guess that's fine. And that's that. Polyphemus has been black bordered. This took longer than it should have, just because I died on 95 the first time. But yeah, that's that. Polyphemus has been black bordered. And I'll also end off with a crate. So if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, join Discord. Link is down below in the description. No, it's been a while, but I guess life kind of got in the way.